Good evening, everybody.
Hi, Abby.
I'm sure everybody has either got somebody with ADD or ADHD in their family, or certainly knows somebody with this condition. Push there. The scary part of it is if you look at where it fits in the big picture, you need to understand that a lot of the ailments that are present in our health issues currently actually are caused by diet and lifestyle. They even say of the 10 top natural causes of death, 7 are caused by diet and lifestyle. And ADD and ADHD sadly are not a disease or an illness. You cannot catch it. In fact, you cannot even inherit it, but you can inherit a lifestyle and you can inherit a diet. So let us begin on this interesting subject. Firstly, a diet. I want to share that I had a son who was ADD, ADHD, and the school sent me to a psychologist, a school psychologist, and they insisted I put my son on Ritalin, and I said, over my dead body. And they considered me quite a bad parent because I didn't, but I had done some of my own research. And I had listened to a very interesting teaching on how to get secretaries productive in the office. And interestingly, in that one, they removed a lot of the key things that I then put into practice. And I got a reaction from the school within 24 hours. What have you done to your son? Because he's different within 24 hours. And it was no medication. And one of the first things I did that day was I made sure I removed all sugar and sugar products out of his diet. I replaced it with fruit. So his lunchbox, instead of getting maybe a little chocolate with, he got a piece of fruit. Obviously, fizzies and junk food are out of the question. And this particular son happens to be a junk food lover. If he can have junk food 24/7, he would, which is why he was this problem child. Replace it with home-cooked meals and good food. The next thing I've particularly I removed him from all dairy at that point. I would like to say at this point that I've found that your non-pasteurized dairy products do not have the same effect. Well, I've not experienced the same effect in my family and people I've spoken to. If you use your non-pasteurized, they don't react as badly as your pasteurized. Pasteurized converts the milk into a phlegm manufacturing machine. And we could tell that my son had sneaked off to the fridge because within 2 minutes he was coughing and coughing and coughing. And we knew he'd snuck in and had another glass of milk. So if you're going to avoid dairy and you do not have access to non-pasteurized, cut out dairy. If you have access, give it up for a while and slowly introduce with non-pasteurized. And remember, use organic. Your fruit juices, everyone thinks, well, buy a nice bottle of fruit juice. It is probably, I've heard it said, worse than Coke. The acid and the high sugar in processed fruit juices, if you have to choose between an orange juice or a Coke, your Coke is healthier. It is pure acid to your body. It is so damaging. If you're going to buy a fruit juice, squeeze it yourself, or go to the shops where they have one of these orange squeezes where it's freshly done. That is beautiful. But to buy the stuff in a box that goes on a shelf for weeks or months is really bad for your body. The next thing, the biggest problem out is reduce your carbs, reduce your processed carbs, cut out breads, pastas, etc. Now, so we've covered the diet. The diet is really important. We're going back to old eating habits. We're going back to basics. We're going back to nature. We're eating what is good for us. And you might even say, but I can't get my child to stop eating X, Y, and Z. Take it out the house. Let the rest of the family work with you. Take those things that could be a temptation and take them right out the house. Don't even have them around. Okay, so now we get on to lifestyle as a whole. When I first heard the word ADD, the woman who spoke to me, I said, what is ADD? And she said, it's attention deficit order. And I took it straight away. Oh my glory, I know you're not very attentive to your children, but I never knew you had an illness that said you're not paying attention to your children, because that's how I interpreted it. And if we look at the modern lifestyle we have today, we have taken the parent participation and we've replaced it with things like TV, with computer games, with distractions that aren't parental involvement. So my ignorance could have actually had a bit of truth in it. Avoid TV. If you can cut TV, mobile phones, and computer games out of your kid's life, 100%, you will see a change immediately. The hold that it has on the brain, the damage it does, and the way it affects the brain, well, you then have to take medication to try and nullify what it does. Replace it with reading good books, playing outside, family time, going back to old values again. Right, now go back to your lunchbox and you want to have, what do I have in my lunchbox? Put a piece of chicken in, some cheese, some biltong, some fresh fruit, some oranges, apples, bananas, your raw veggies. For example, the little cucumber sticks and carrot sticks. We have gotten too used to feeding children convenient stuff, junk food. I once babysat 2 little children who, when they came to me, they were given pieces of green pepper, carrot sticks, fruit, baby tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, were the snacks that were given for these children. Never once did they come with bread, a sweet, or any junk food. And these children were extremely healthy. If you train your children from young that that is the norm, they're not going to ask for junk. Right, now we get onto the supplementation side. Remember, supplementation is just that. It is adding to what you're already doing. You cannot do supplementation if you're not eating healthily. You're wasting your time. Because the amount of damage your high junk or high sugar does to your body, supplements cannot help you. But if you are living a healthy lifestyle and you're eating correctly, and then you supplement, you will do your body a lot of good. Now, the first thing I would say with somebody with ADD or ADHD is you get them on omega-3. Quite frankly, you cannot overdose on it. So you take as much omega-3 as you can afford. Remember, omega-3, there is omega-3 and there's omega-3. Like if I say, do you have a car? What type of car? It makes a big difference what type of omega-3 you're using. If you're not using an organic omega-3, please rather give it to your dogs. Actually, it'll hurt your dogs. Rather throw it in the bin, because if you're not using an organic omega-3, you're probably using one that is farmed in these big batteries in the cold oceans. And that omega-3, because the fish are all in close proximity in a net, they have to feed it externally. So they feed it externally by throwing milli-meal and mealies down. But milli-meal and mealies just happen to be an omega-6 product. Now you might say, well, that's great, I'm getting my 3 and my 6. The problem with getting extra 6 is your body doesn't need extra 6. Your body already has too much 6, which is why you have your colds and your mucous membranes getting infected and bladder infections and all that, because we have too much 6. 6 is in your bread, it's in all your oils, it's just about everything you eat, you have 6. But now to get the correct amount, you have to have a ratio of 1 to 1, 3 to 6. So most South Africans are like 1 to 24, the ratio between 3 and 6. So to get it equalized, you actually have to increase your decent, pure omega-3. Get it to a 1 in 1 or 1 in 4 ratio. Another point about omega-3 is if you want to prevent ADD and ADHD, when you're pregnant with your babies, take loads of it. You'll give birth to a calm, placid child. Right, so on that, the next point on the omega-3 is they feed the fish a lot of antibiotics. So you get a high antibiotic omega-3. Then on top of that, they also add colorants, because your omega-3 lands up a white omega-3 and it's not natural. So they give it a lot of yellow colorants. So if you are having an omega-3, which is not an organic one, please speak to Jasper. He has access to proper organic omega-3. Get it from him. do not buy the junk. You might as well not be taking it. The next thing to take is B complex, vitamin B complex. That is your nerve vitamin. And most children who have ADD or ADHD do have stress within themselves. They are hyperactive and they need to calm down. You need to add actually vitamin B6 to it because that is a really good nerve vitamin. A point on the B6 is if you want to get it, just go to the back of your Clicks or Dischem and ask them to dispense. That's a fraction of the price, but must have it with a proper B complex as well. Your zinc, that is also a mood vitamin, so take, or a mineral, so make sure to take some zinc as well. And your vitamin C, no matter what I guide you on health-wise, I will always say vitamin C is one of the most critical vitamins with your omega-3 that you should be taking on a daily basis. Now, if you have an ADD, ADHD child and you put them on that, you cut out the junk, you give them healthy food, you guide them on their after-hours activities, you're going to have a different child. And remember all this, ensure organic origin only. Avoid your Ritalins, avoid your drugs. They are just that. All they do is hide the actual problem. They actually do not solve anything. And Ritalin is actually cocaine. So you start your child on drugs at an early age. That is it.